Chinese President Xi Jinping says that China will, quote, always uphold world peace and international rules. This, he says, that after reports that Beijing has tested 2 new hypersonic missiles over the summer. Meanwhile, China says there is no room for concessions or compromise on Taiwan after President Biden said that the U.S. would defend the island if attacked during a town hall last week. But then that was followed up by White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki refusing to back the U.S. defending Taiwan. Here's her comments after the president's comments. Watch this.
There has been no shift. The president was not announcing any change in our policy, nor has he made a decision to change our policy. There is no change in our policy.
No change in our policy. Joining me right now is Gatestone Institute Senior Fellow. He is the author of The Coming Collapse of China and the Great U.S.-China Tech War, Gordon Chang. Gordon, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks so much for being here. So White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki refusing to say whether the United States would defend Taiwan militarily if China were to invade Taiwan. Your thoughts on what Psaki just said?
Well, first of all, Beijing is ecstatic at the evident disarray in the White House. And we saw this from a tweet from a China Daily European bureau chief who actually said that President Biden is too old, he's bluffing, and he doesn't know what he's talking about, which means deterrence is breaking down. And by the way, the president of the United States constitutionally makes foreign policy, not the White House press secretary. So we have a little bit of a constitutional issue, unless, of course, President Biden is effectively admitting he did make a mistake, a grievous mistake at the town hall on Thursday. There's a real problem in the administration right now.
So do you think that the U.S. will be there to defend Taiwan should China invade?
I don't know. I mean, we've had these clear statements from President Biden, which are very good. He also said the same thing in August. But we have the State Department, the Defense Department, and the White House press office saying maybe not. So we really don't know.
Gordon, I want to get your take on why the policies out of this administration on China are so weak. First of all, let's just acknowledge the fact that China launched 2 hypersonic missiles, and many say that the intelligence apparatus was surprised by it. As they were launching these missiles, the State Department was celebrating International Pronouns Day. Yeah, Gordon, International Pronouns Day is what the State Department was doing. On Sunday Morning Futures yesterday, I spoke with former acting director of national intelligence, Rick Grinnell, to get his take on why the Biden administration will not come out with any policy with real teeth against China. Watch this.
The United States is not able to manufacture goods to the point where we're relying on China for a lot of these products. That's got to change, and we've got to bring home manufacturing. The reason why the Biden administration isn't taking on China to grow the United States manufacturing base is because they're afraid of what China knows about them.
Gordon, your reaction to that?
Well, clearly you have an administration that says that climate change is the most important issue in the entire world. Well, when you transport these goods across the Pacific, when you have these supply chains that span half the world, you're putting a lot of carbon in the air. Now, 15 of the largest container ships are said to put more carbon in the air than all the world's cars. Now, the Biden administration won't bring manufacturing back. And I think part of it is with their infrastructure plan, it really means that all of this steel, cement, PVC tubing has got to be made in China. And you can't make it in the United States and build the infrastructure now, which is what the Biden administration wants to do. So they're not talking about these issues. And by the way, we wouldn't have 60 or 70 or 80 ships backed up at Long Beach if we were making stuff in the United States, as Rick Grinnell says.
That's right. And the problem is that many of these Democrats apparently are getting paid by China. I mean, look at the Hunter Biden story. Now we understand that Huawei, which is the China jewel, paid Democrat donor Tony Podesta, John Podesta's brother. Huawei paid Tony Podesta $500,000 to lobby the White House just weeks after Biden's DOJ dropped the charges on Meng Wanzhou, the daughter of the CCP member and the CFO of Huawei, Gordon.
Yes, well, the Biden administration should never have released Meng Wanzhou. And the reason is she did not admit to a crime. And she signed a statement, but we don't know what that statement says. And we don't know how the Biden administration intends to use it. And by releasing Meng, they gave China a big propaganda victory. We know that because they played up her return to China. But also, we have an administration that has hired former Huawei officials. This really is serious because it shows a penetration of the Biden administration by the Communist Party.
Yep, it's very serious, Gordon. I know you've known that for a long time and have been covering it and writing about it. And we, too, have been on this story and will continue to be. Gordon, it's good to talk with you as always. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Maria.
Gordon Chang joining us.